Welcome students. Let us do some objective questions in 13th group. Start here. The group oxidation state of p block element is always equal to group number minus 10. For example, 15th group elements group oxidation state will be 15 minus 10 5. This is equal to the number of valence electrons they have. Also, the other possible valency is 2 units less than the group valency for bottom elements due to inert pair effect. For 13th group element, the group valency is 13 minus 10, that is 3. For bottom thallium, plus 1 is the commonly observed oxidation state due to inert pair effect. Which of the following configuration is characteristic of group 13? Group 13 elements have configuration like either NS2NP1 in case of boron aluminum. For others, it is N-1D10 NS2NP1 like gallium, indium, thallium. So, the best possible option is A. C is wrong because it is not NS2NP2. Group 13 elements can show plus 3 state, plus 1 state, and also magnesium can show minus 3 oxidation state in case of Mg3b2. Generally, the atomic ionic radii increase with increase in atomic number down the group, but the atomic radii of aluminum and gallium is almost same because in gallium we have appearance of 3d10 electrons. The d electrons and d orbitals skinning is not very effective, and the skinning effect offsets the increase in nuclear attraction. As a result, the effective nuclear charge experienced by valence electrons in case of aluminum and gallium is approximately same. So, the correct answer for fourth question is naturally B. Can you read B? Question number 5. The ionization energy of lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon have one of the following values. Which one corresponds to boron? Use common sense. First group elements have lowest possible ionization energy, it must be 520. If you look at the ionization energy values, second group elements have higher ionization energy than third. But 14th group element has highest ionization energy in the lot. Therefore, 1086 must belong to carbon. Next highest 899 must belong to beryllium, and boron should be 800. 520 is for lithium. Answer is 800. Which of the following is used in high temperature thermometry? This is called pyrometry. In pyrometers, gallium is used as a liquid because it has low melting point, high boiling point. Over a wide range of temperature, it exists as liquid. So, it is a preferred pyrometric fluid. Boron halides behave as Lewis acids because in boron halides, not only boron 13th group elements halides, the 13th group gets only 6 electrons after bond formation because it has only 3 valence electrons. 3 covalent bonds they can make to get 6 electrons, which is 2 electrons less than octet. Hence, these halides of 13th group elements are electron deficient, therefore, they are acting as Lewis acids. Question number 8. Which of the following does not react with aqueous NaOH? Generally, with aqueous NaOH, the boron cannot react. It can react with the fused NaOH. Under high temperature, it can react. But directly with aqueous NaOH, boron cannot react. Aluminum can react to give meta-aluminates and aluminates because aluminum oxide is amphoteric. Gallium can do similarly. It can react. Its oxide is also amphoteric. Thallium also will not react with aqueous NaOH. Answer must be both A and D. But earlier when this question appeared in a competitive exam, they gave only A as answer, but technically A and D both are correct. Which I want you to write A if this question appears, but I am telling you matter of factly. Which of the following carbides on treatment with water evolves methane? A carbide that gives methane on treatment with water is called methanide. Beryllium carbide and aluminum carbide both are methanides. Both give methane gas. Of course, calcium carbide gives acetylene. Silicon carbide inorganic diamond would not react with water, so also boron carbide. Answer is Al4C3. The element that makes the paper marks the paper like lead is thallium. Fact. Which of the following statement is correct? BCl3, AlCl3 are Lewis acids and BCl3 is stronger acid than AlCl3 is a fact. This is correct statement. No need to worry about others. The mineral from which borax is prepared. Borax is Na2B4O7 10H2O. It can be made by reacting colemanite Ca2B6O11 5H2O with water, with aqueous Na2CO3. Sorry. Also, boric acid you can react with aqueous Na2CO3 to get borax. And then, which of the following is correct formula for boron carbide? You can see it is B12C3, actually B4C. Structure of boric acid is a layer-like structure in which BO3 units are linked through oxygens. No. The structure of boric acid has layer-like structure in which BO3 units are linked by hydrogen bonding is right. Which of the following statements is false? So, you have to look at all the 4 statements in such case. BH3 is not a stable compound. Of course, it is true. B2H6 is stable. All BH bonds in B2H6 are equal is wrong, because in B2H6 terminal BH bonds are stronger and shorter, 2 center 2 electron bonds. The central BH bonds are 3 center 2 electron banana bonds. They are different. B is wrong. Mark the wrong statement regarding BF3. It is a Lewis acid is true. Though back bonding makes it a poor Lewis acid, it is still a Lewis acid. It forms addition compound with ammonia. True. Any Lewis acid can make addition compound with ammonia. It's quite possible. It is a volatile liquid at room temperature is wrong. It is a gas at room temperature. It combines with either to form boron trifluoride etherate is true. The aqueous solution of borax is basic due to anion hydrolysis. The bonds present in borazole B3N3H6. In a cyclic compound, number of sigma bonds is always equal to number of atoms. In a open chain compound, number of sigma bonds is equal to number of atoms minus 1. Because borazole is a cyclic compound, B3N3H6 has 12 atoms. So it should have 12 sigma bonds. Like benzene, it has 3 pi bonds. Look at this structure. Among the following compounds of boron, the species which also forms pi bonds in addition to sigma bonds, BH3 no, BF3 yes, due to back bonding a kind of pi bond forms. The remaining are not correct, BF3. Which of the following compounds are formed when BCl3 is treated with water? BCl3 on hydrolysis gives boric acid and HCl. Fact. Boric acid is a polymeric due to the presence of hydrogen bonds without any speck of doubt. Which one is metaboric acid? HbO2 is metaboric acid. H2B4O7 is tetraboric acid. H3BO3 or BOH taken thrice represents boric acid only, or the boric acid. BCl3 is planar molecule because in this molecule boron undergoes sp2 hybridization. Always sp2 hybridization is a state where the molecule becomes planar. Which of the following reactions take place at the cathode in the electrolytic cell used for extraction of aluminum? I will explain a little bit because it is not covered in your NCERT book. A little bit explanation on this. Sir, aluminum is actually extracted from, we will spend about 1 minute time on this. Aluminum can be extracted from a cell which is an iron tank in which there is carbon lining. Here you take a mixture of Al2O3 and Al2O3 in fused state, in molten state is a poor conductor. So you add something like barium fluoride or calcium fluoride, or you can use Na3AlF6 cryolite. All this, especially Na3AlF6 is added to increase the conductance. These fellows are added to lower the melting point. By and large, Al2O3 is the fellow that undergo main changes. But it starts with Na3AlF6. In order to extract aluminum, you take aluminum ore Al2O3 which is made to melt by heating with these two fellows and additionally cryolite. To this molten mass, this is a iron tank coated with carbon. Here you put a bunch of carbon rods. The carbon rods act as cathode, steel vessel, anode is carbon rods. Now when you are passing current AlF6, Na3AlF6, that is a cryolite that initially changes to give you Al plus 3 ions, Na plus ions and F minus ions. The Al plus 3 ions at cathode, that is at the lining when you are passing current, gain electron to become aluminum metal. Now always the cations will go to cathode. There they gain electrons to become metal. The anions will go to anode. At anode, anode is carbon rod. At anode, F minus is supposed to go and lose electrons to become F2 and 2 electrons. But F2 dislikes to lose electrons in this way. So very quickly at anode, F2 will react with Al2O3 to give you again AlF3 plus oxygen gas. You can think of. So at anode you are getting oxygen gas. The oxygen gas which is evolved will eat away the carbon rods. The anode is used as a carbon rod and it will give CO and CO2 mixture. Okay. You can think of CO2. Now therefore the carbon anode which is to be frequently replaced in the process. So here I quickly spoke, aluminum is a metal that is belonging to 13 group that can be extracted from purified Al2O3. The purified Al2O3 has very high melting point. To melt it we are using some materials to lower the melting point. You are also adding cryolite Na3AlF6 to increase the conductance. This fellow is taken in an iron tank which is having a carbon lining that acts as cathode. A bunch of carbon rods act as anode. When you are passing current, there are some steps. First aluminum ions are produced, they go to cathode and become aluminum metal. The anion fluoride minus at anode is forced to lose electrons, but the fluoride ion never likes to lose electrons, so immediately fluorine reacts with Al2O3 to give AlF3 again, oxygen gas. Oxygen gas evolved will attack the carbon anode, so there is carbon rod which is being losing its weight. So in this process now you can answer the question. The question is, what is the question now? Which of the following compound is formed when BCl3 treated? This we have done. Boric acid is polymeric due to hydrogen bonding, we have done. What is metaboric acid? We have done. BCl3 is planar molecule because, okay, we have done that. Which of the following reaction takes place at the cathode? Cations will go to cathode. Therefore, which of the reaction takes place at cathode? Yes, sir? Yeah. Which of the following reaction takes place at cathode? In the electrolytic cell used in the extraction of aluminum. At cathode, cation aluminum plus 3 will gain 3 electrons to give aluminum. That is the reaction. Alums are not formed by. Again, I need a little bit explanation. Alums are not formed by. Answer is lithium. What are alums? I will explain shortly. First we see alums are not formed by lithium. Next, pure H2S can be obtained in the reaction of. Pure H2S can be obtained in the action of water on aluminum sulfide. Others will give H2S on reaction with acids, but Al2S3 will give H2S, hydrogen sulfide, rotten smelling gas, on reaction with water. Anhydrous aluminum chloride fumes in air because any chloride salt is fuming in air means with water or moisture in air that reacts with AlCl3 to give you aluminum hydroxide and HCl. Beryllium chloride, aluminum chloride, any chloride is fuming in air means the moisture content of the air is going to act on the salt, so that salt undergo hydrolysis to give HCl gas. So this process is hydrolysis. Now we are going to look at next question. I think I have to explain a little bit on what? I have to explain a little bit on alums. We come back. Aluminum oxide is not used. For Al2O3, alumina is mainly used as a dehydrating agent. It is a refractory material that can withstand high temperature without undergoing any reformation. It is not a constituent of baking powder. Baking powder is made with NaHCO3, sodium bicarbonate, and tartaric, sodium potassium tartrate. So baking powder is not made with Al2O3. Al2O3 is used as a stationary phase in column chromatography. Is true, because column chromatography is a technique of separating mixtures using Al2O3 column. Alumina is insoluble in water. Any material is insoluble in water if its lattice energy is high and hydration energy is low. The best option is B. Which of the following statements about anhydrous AlCl3 is correct? Anhydrous AlCl3 is a strange molecule. Normally it exists like Al2Cl6. It is a dimer. It exists as AlCl3 molecule is wrong. It is not easily hydrolyzed is wrong. In air it fumes by absorbing moisture and undergoing hydrolysis and generating HCl. It sublimes at 100 degrees centigrade. At 100 degrees centigrade it definitely sublimes. In vacuum, that is true. It is a strong Lewis base is wrong, it is a Lewis acid. So the statement which is correct is C. Duraluminum is an alloy of, it is a fact, it is an alloy of aluminum, magnesium, manganese, copper. Alloy means made by combining several metals. Which of the following is a component of ruby? Ruby is a precious gem that is originally Al2O3 containing chromic oxide as impurity. Based on the nature of impurity metal oxides, you get different precious gems. If Al2O3 is having beryllium oxide as impurity, it is called emerald, the green stone. In the aluminothermy process, aluminum acts as. Aluminothermy process or a thermite process is a process where metal oxides like Fe2O3, MnO2, Cr2O3 are heated with aluminum powder. Aluminum acts as reducing agent and converts the Fe2O3 into iron, MnO2 into manganese, Cr2O3 into chromium, etc. In this process, a lot of heat energy is generated, due to which the metal produced will be in the molten state. So it is acting as reducing agent. Al2O3 formation involves evolution of a large quantity of heat which makes it use in. Actually, whenever aluminum is burnt, you get Al2O3 and a lot of heat energy, because of which aluminum powder is used as a rocket fuel. It can be used in thermite welding also. An example of alum, about alums I want to talk, we will talk a little bit. The example here is K2SO4, Al2SO4 taken rise 24H2O. We talk about alum shortly in the last 1 minute. Aluminium vessels should not be washed with minerals containing washing soda, because aluminum oxide is amphoteric, it is attacked by washing soda. Washing soda reacts with aluminum to form soluble aluminates. That is the reason why we should not use aluminum. Last question, which of the following undergoes sublimation? Sublimation is a process wherein a solid on direct heating becomes direct gas. The AlCl3 ammonium chloride dry ice, all they undergo sublimation. Now in the last 1 minute, as I said, we talk about alums. Alums are double salts of formula M2SO4 M-2SO4 taken thrice 24H2O. If you look at the M2 can be first group metal like potassium K2SO4. M- can be a trivalent metal like aluminum Al2SO4 taken thrice 24H2O. If you see this type of double salts known as alums, there is a sulfate formed by first group cation. There is a sulfate formed by a trivalent metal ion with 24 water molecules. Of these, there are 4 metal ions and 24 water molecules. So in a typical alum, each metal ion is surrounded by 6 water molecules. So Alums are the binary salts of metal with valency 1, metal with valency 3, where each metal ion is surrounded by 6 water molecules.